So yes, this is the previous week's charity shop finds. Them in the background are from a week or so ago. They're not the most recent, but I just thought I'd display them in the background there. Right, I'm going to start with the two only non-book items. The rest are all book themed. Now this is Batman, kind of. So this is a meerkat Batman, or a Batman meerkat, or a bat meerkat. I'm not really sure how it works, but clearly it is a meerkat. And his name has actually gone from my head. I feel like begins with A. Answers in the comments, please. I can't think what his name is. But yeah, he's from the meerkat adverts. Alexandra has come to me. It's Alexandra, isn't it? Alexandra. I believe this is him as Batman. Now, I think this was given out as a promotion. Maybe if you took up their insurance at a certain time, you could get this Batman themed plushie. I know they do something with cinema tickets I've seen on the advert, so maybe it was something to do with that, I'm not sure. But yeah, I thought that was a nice little collectible. I liked it. It was good. So interesting one for collection. Now, a rarity, but sometimes I will feature these new items from a charity shop. So obviously charity shops are largely second-hand items. That's what they're known for. But then again, a lot of the charity shops will have a section of new stuff, particularly like British Heart Foundation, Oxfam, and Cancer Research, I would say, especially. Actually, Help the Aged do as well. Basically, a lot of them have a new section. And some of the stuff can be good quality and a good price. Sometimes not. Sometimes it's a bit overpriced. It just depends. But Cancer Research charity shop, my local one, always has this bin of stuff that's wrapped up in see-through wrapping, has a sticker to tell you what's inside it. And I don't know. I don't really know the origin of them. They kind of... It's obviously like basic just see-through packaging, but it kind of looks like customer returns or something. I don't really know what the origin is, but I picked this out, and what they are, this is to help with storage solutions. I knew it would be very handy. So if you've got earphones on, I'm guessing that rattling was very noisy, so apologies about that. Yeah, these, you get 6, and it was just £5 for the lot. As far as I can tell, they're brand new. They were all completely wrapped up in their see-through wrapping, as I say. And yeah, I just find things like this very handy. And 6 for £1, sorry, 6 for £5, you know, less than £1 each. They get a bit stuck together, but they do come out. Just have to pull them. And yeah, they're just like quite thin plastic, but it's just so handy for organising. Like, I can use them for like organising stuff for business, like for stuff that I'm selling, like putting different things in different containers, maybe things that need to be dispatched, or just for like keeping stuff around the home in. So yeah, very handy. So I do look in the new sections of charity shops as well, because sometimes you can still find some bargains. Right, now we are on to the books. What have we got? Let's pick up a pile. We'll start with this one. So this is called A Milady of Magics. The author, kind of a little bit familiar, may have read a book by them in the past, not 100% sure, but you know, I can tell this is the kind of thing that I like to read. A magic-y, wizardy, how do you put it, adventure, fantasy adventure. Yeah, definitely up my street, so look forward to reading that. Now I have a point horror, managed to get another point horror. So April Fools. I may have read this one first time round. I always like to read the blurb on these ones as well, because they're always interesting. But yeah, wow, it was £2.50 when it came out. Oh yeah, now this is the first Jeffrey Archer book I've got. I know he's written numerous books. I mean numerous, he's written a lot of books. The reason why I picked this one up, I was doing a 2 for £1 in one of the charity shops, Cancer Research, and I was looking for another one to go with one I picked up. And I love short stories. It's actually something I actively collect and read, is in his short story collections. I knew that he did this book, very familiar with it. And it's something else that I like a lot, is when there's a twist in the tail basically, and this one clearly has got a twist in the tails, so I will look forward to reading that. I do really, as much as I love long big epics, I have this thing where I really like reading short stories as well. Now we have another point horror. We have The Window by Carol Ellis. Now I read a lot of Carol Ellis's book back as a teenager, and again I may have read this one originally, but I don't know. But I want to read it again and also add to my collection. I will be doing some videos around the point horror books at some point. Another thing I actively like and collect is ghost stories. So this is Nora Loft's The Haunting of Gadd's Hall. Now I don't know too much about it, I've just perhaps vaguely heard about it in passing. I believe the book is a fairly vintage, 1978, yeah, 1978. I'm looking forward to reading a 70s ghost story there. And then this is an autobiography I've been wanting to get for some time actually. It's Adam Buxton's Ramble book. If you don't know Adam Buxton, he's a comedian. I think he's written some more serious things as well. Certainly some of the articles I've read of his, but yeah, he is a comedian, and you may have seen him on TV on a panel show. You may have seen some of the shows he's done with his regular comedy partner Joe, or you may listen to his extremely popular podcast, which I believe is one of the most popular podcasts in the UK in terms of how many listeners it has. Yeah, it's his Ramble podcast, and basically he interviews many different guests really, from all sorts of genres, and they're always really interesting. It's the questions he's asked, the chats he has. He's got a great humour. He's a very interesting person, and yeah, I was definitely looking forward to reading his autobiography. Now, I expect it to be funny. I also expect it to be pretty moving, because I know from listening to him on these podcasts and elsewhere, there's going to be some moving parts to his story as well. There's also going to be a lot about Bowie, because he's a big Bowie fan. So it says musings on childhood, friendship, family and 80s pop culture. It says as read on Radio 4. So they did a Radio 4 version. You can see on the back David Bowie, Nigel Buxton, Daddy, and Rosie the dog. Oh yeah, Rosie the dog always features on these podcasts. To be fair, I don't actually think this is a straightforward biography. I think it's more musings on various things in his life actually. May not be a straightforward biography, but that can be a very good way to do it as well. So yeah, striking pink book, nice hardcover. Tip, if you don't already know, when you get a book in a charity shop, especially if it's an autobiography, always look in case it's signed, because sometimes you will find that they have been signed by the author. Sometimes they're signed to a certain person, and it's like, I've got a book signed to somebody who's not me, but never mind. Yeah. One for the shop. So this is going to go on the Stufforium eBay shop. But here's a rare thing: a book that has a rating. It's a 15, this book, but that is because inside it has a DVD of the pilot episode of Lost, and it is, whoops, sorry, not the camera there. It is the Lost Chronicles, so it's a companion for the hit series Lost, which pretty much gripped a lot of people back in its day when it came out, and I'd be interested to know about anyone who's discovering it for the first time, what they think. I certainly think it was a great concept. It did have a lot going for it. I know a lot of people said it's maybe lost a little bit in it, got a little literally lost a bit after a while. But yeah, it's certainly had its moments. And yeah, that's just a nice one to add to the book section of my eBay store. Also to add to the book section, we got a Pokemon Alonian Challenge book, so a nice little story one there, along with Mr. Popper's Penguins. Apparently that's an award-winning book. I think that's the one they made the film about. There's some film about penguins, is it with Johnny Depp or something? I don't know, but vaguely in my head, something penguins. I can't remember if it's anything to do with that book or not. By the way, all of these books featured were either in the 2 for £1 cancer research charity shop, and some of them were in 4 for £1. I found this Salvation Army shop in Swindon that does 4 for £1 on books. That was very good. There's another one, Biscuit Factory, like a quirky kids book. It looks like really fun to read. That'd be a good one for the shop also. Now this one, I really like the cover too. Seems to have quite a following from what I read online. Some teen fantasy fiction. Yeah, seems pretty good. So I thought I'd add that to shop. Yeah, I really like the striking cover there. Very nice. We're getting towards the end now. Yes, so Kathy Wretch. Now, apologies if I pronounce her surname wrong. I'm not sure if it's Wretch or Reich, but very good author. Flesh and Bones. Not read this one, so I was looking forward to reading this one. Writes really good thrillers. There they are. Yeah. Also, if you don't know, it should say on here, I think. Oh yeah, from the author who inspired the hit TV series Bones. If you've ever seen the Bones, this is the author that inspired it. Lastly, we have. At this point, I basically collect the dummies book. If they're a subject I'm interested in, I collect them. This one is starting an online business now. Everything in here, I mean, it's very handy information. I am going to have a look for it. I believe I read this before when I was looking to start a business, and I think now there might not be anything that I'm not familiar with, but I will certainly give it another look through. But the thing is, it was really reasonable, and I just like, I'll have it anyway. You never know what you could find in it, and I just like collecting the dummies books, as I was saying. Yeah, and that is it. So nice little selection there. You could let me know in the comments what your favourite pickup was from this selection. And of course, as always, if you can ever recommend any charity shops, that would be greatly appreciated.